From LA Late News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LA Late.
It's a big morning as a new week is underway, and a big week it is because we have the Producer Price Index being released before the CPI. Yes, the Producer Price Index is being released on Wednesday, and it's a big preview of that massive CPI-W for the month of September being released on October 13th, Thursday, along with the raise lifetime of your benefits. That COLA raise coming in also on Thursday. But this time, we have the PPI the day earlier, so it's going to give the big indication of what's going to happen on that major announcement, the 13th. Meantime, other news hitting as well right this moment as companies are really getting crumbled. General Motors downgraded, Ford downgraded, Rivian stock, the electric auto manufacturer, falling down 10%. The toast is toasted. Because toast, the stock is toasted. The stock toast is toasted. It's up 3.3 in the pre-market trading today. All the latest details wide. Meantime, Tesla delivered a lot more cars than expected, but its stock has been really not toasted at all lately. All the latest details across the board. That's why, my friends, you gotta get that forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. In today's recording, we go over that FSCs, those incredible federal stimulus checks that yield about $300,000 for you, 300 different checks. We'll go over all those incredible FSC checks, which are a lot, in the big second half. Promise me this, you'll see the big second half. Next, we'll go over the lifetime stimulus heating up this Thursday with that CPI-W. What do you think it's going to be? Jump on live chat right now. Where do you believe that CPI-W will be? And that COLA raise. Predict that as well on the live chat. I'll go over your answers in just a second. Next, inflation relief stimulus checks heating up the big second half. We have that as well. Meantime, a shocking new report about young Americans unable to pay the bills, older adults unable to pay the bills, and major Americans saying they don't have enough money to pay any of these monies and these debts. I'll go over why that's important to get your stimulus right now. It's that stimulus stampede. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, the toast is toasted, the butter is buttering, the coffee is brewing, as a big, bold, beautiful, brand new Mornings LA gets underway from the shores of Santa Monica, California, on a big new wake. It's Mornings. And good morning, everybody. Hope you're having a beautiful day, and it's a beautiful week here along the coast of Santa Monica, California. Big week underway as the Producer Price Index being released on Wednesday. Wow. And then the CPI being released on Thursday. The COLA raise being released on Thursday. The retail sales coming in on Friday. Meantime, the banks are reporting this Friday as well. That earnings recession heating up today's recording, and more companies struggling today as well. We'll have the latest details on those earnings downgrades minutes ago, plus that massive stimulus coming up in the big second half. Promise me this, you'll stay the big second half because we have a lot of money to go over. And we'll go over the latest details of problematic debt. Americans running more debt than ever before. And one major industry, I told you it was going to implode, and today we learned it is imploding. Which one is it? Jump on the live track. Can you predict this one? You're hearing it for the first time on this channel, the breaking news of it, but I've been predicting it since July. Since July, I told you one major industry is going to fall apart. Which one is it right today? You got a hint of it in some of those analysis, some of those downgrades in the teaser of the opening of the show today. Which industry is it? I'll go over your answers in just a second. I bet you get it right. It's not housing, by the way. And with that, let's go right into the breaking news. The breaking news today is that Americans learn how much their benefits are going to go up on Thursday. On Thursday, the Consumer Price Index, CPI-W, is released. It's October 13th. Also on Thursday, the COLA raise is also released. But we get an interesting twist this time. The PPI is generally released the day after the COLA, but this time it's being released the day before the COLA. So, will it be reliable? Will it not be reliable? About what the news announcement will be for the next day, I'll explain to you yes or no in just a second. We start today with the major announcements on earnings recession. Ford and GM. GM downgraded from neutral to buy. Ford downgraded from neutral to sell, meaning get rid of the stock right now. This is a UBS downgrade minutes ago. Rivian down 9%. That's the electric pickup truck company. It's recalling all its vehicles for a steering issue. Oh, baby. That stock is down 10% in pre-market trading. Tesla delivered 83,000 more vehicles from a Shanghai factory than expected, but the company has been under pressure with its stock really at the lowest levels of nearly 52 weeks. It could fall even more. And then toast. The toast is toasting. The butter is buttering, and the toast is toasting. The toast stock, that's the name of the company. Toast is toasting. It has been upgraded. Upgraded from neutral to buy because the restaurant software company Toast is doing quite well. The stock Toast is toasting at 3.3% up in the pre-market trading. One of the reasons you want to get the stimulus is the stimulus stampede, and we learn more today about that stimulus stampede, a series of new reports. Number one, of millennials, which are individuals 26 to 41, 22% say they cannot afford the debt that they're carrying. They're carrying debt and they cannot afford it. Then we have 19% of Gen Zers, who are age 18 to 25. They can't cover their debt. Then for all ages, what do we show? 32% of all Americans are behind on their bills by at least 6 months. Wow. 30% are behind their bills for over 6 months. Then the data gets even worse. 61% of them say they don't even have the money to pay for the bills. So they have the debt, and they also say they don't have the money to pay for the debt. Then we have 40% of Americans say they cannot afford their bills any better than the prior year. So they say they're more behind on the bills than the prior year. This is all really bad data, but indicative of a stimulus stampede. And that, my friends, is why you have to get a forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. In today's recording, the big second half, we go over these massive federal stimulus checks, FSC. FSCs that yield about $300,000. A single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. And if you're on benefits like SSI and SSDI, go get it. How do you get it? You go onto this video, join the channel, and the big second half, we go over these incredible checks. Promise me you'll stay the big second half as we go over these FSC federal stimulus checks from the federal government. Next up, inflation relief stimulus checks. They heat up the big second half, and they're incredible. We'll go over those incredible inflation relief stimulus checks in the big second half. Then, lifetime stimulus checks impacted by inflation. That's coming out on Thursday. We'll go over the raise of your benefits and how those numbers work. All that coming up in just a second. U.S. stocks continue to struggle day in, day out because the U.S. economy is not doing particularly well. Today, stocks are down because of changes in the U.S. export policy on semiconductor chips. But we have some corporate earnings coming in. On Friday, we have Wells Fargo, Morgan Stanley, and Citibank reporting corporate earnings. They're big ones because they will give you guidance on how the inflation and recession has hurt the banking industry. The next week, we have Domino's, PepsiCo, and Delta, which gives you an indication of consumer spending. Domino's Pizza, of course. But the data that you and I are looking for this week, Wednesday, the Producer Price Index. Thursday, the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, the CPI-W, and also the Colo Rays. Friday, the retail sales. Meantime, Apple's reporting that analysts are reporting that Apple's iPad sales will plummet this year, next year, and not come back until 2024 because they believe they're out of favor. It's the end of basically a cycle until people upgrade the product. Wow. And this, my friends, is really why you have to get these incredible stimulus. Massive new numbers of people joining this channel membership because they're behind on bills, because the economy is struggling. And that might be you. Welcome if you're a brand new member. If you've not become a member, do it right now as you're watching this video. Go right on this video, become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP, join the channel. And the big second half, we're going to go over these incredible checks. But here's an overview first of what these checks are and how they came to be. The first checks are FSC, Federal Stimulus Checks. Where do they come from? Back in the month of March, the President of the United States passed a series of executive actions. Great. And those executive actions established what I call checks A, B, and C. About $100,000. Single individual, $75,000, let's go get it. Married couple, $150,000, let's go get them. And if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, go get them. These are check A, B, and C. We'll go over them in just a second. FSC, paid by the federal government. Then came along Congress. Congress, the Senate and the House, passed a beautiful bill that established more FSC checks, federal stimulus checks for you. They are E through K. Hundreds of brand new checks delivering us to now massive stimulus. Thereafter, I filed checks L and M, N and O, P and Q, bringing us to then hundreds of checks. How do you get them? In the LA newsletter. Delivered from me to you, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We'll go over all these incredible checks in the big second half. But here we go. Earlier in this video, I asked you what industry is falling apart and getting the confirmation today that they're falling apart. If you said the industry right, then that means you've been watching the videos really carefully. Back in the month of July, I told you this industry is going to fall apart because they continue to price their products higher with no entry-level item anymore, and that the entry-level item is now $60,000. $60,000? What industry is this? Yeah, you already know this one. And with a $60,000 entry-level item and an item you have to pay for debt, and the debt is now more expensive because J-Powell's been raising rates, will you buy it? No, you won't buy it. Last week, I talked extensively about them saying they're going to lose their shirts because they're not getting the messaging. They have priced the consumer out of the market. The item that they have is no longer affordable. And then they're going to realize they made a big error. It's going to be too late. The detail is the auto industry. If you said auto, you got it right. And we have the data coming in minutes ago. Manheim Used Vehicle Price Index says used car prices fell annually for the first time more than 2 years. This is breaking news right today. It confirms my reporting and my predictions all this last summer. The price of used cars fell for the biggest decline in nearly 2 years, says a new report today. This is a dramatic change from the summer of 2021, when vehicles were going up 10% a month. Now they continue to fall month over month, and these falls are indicative of not only used car sales, but also new car sales. You saw the opening of this recording? Yes. Ford now switched to a sell rating, meaning get rid of the stock, sell it right away. I don't care how bad it is, get rid of it, says UBS. Switching GM stock from buy to neutral. Why is this happening? They didn't pivot. They didn't get the messaging right. They would have normally had an entry-level vehicle that's $15,000 or $20,000, but they're trying to get people into electric vehicles. Why? You saw the data last week. Less cars sold at the U.S. auto manufacturers, but higher price points, giving them more revenue with less cars sold. They like it. You don't like it, but it falls apart for them eventually. Because ultimately, the entry-level car is a $60,000 electric vehicle. And no one can afford a $60,000 electric vehicle on a car loan where the rate is going up every month because of J. Powell raising rates, obviously. And no one can afford cash on a $60,000 car because that $60,000 electric car, you're not going to be able to sell the stocks that you own. Let's say you're not going to be able to sell your Rivian stock to go buy a brand new electric Hummer because the Rivian stock is down. You're not going to be able to sell your crypto because the crypto's down. Although Decentraland, and I do see some Decentraland nights in the live chat, Decentraland, I got to tell you, has been that crypto stock that has really held its value amidst a bloodbath in the stock market and the crypto market. Decentraland has really not gone down at all. I mean, it's gone down 5 cents. 5 cents this entire, 2 months, which is incredible. Needless to say, what I got to tell you is auto industry is falling apart exactly as predicted. And this is why you have to get that forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. Let's go into the first 3 checks, A, B, and C. Let's get some money right now. Those first 3 checks are FSCs from the federal government, meaning that the president passed it, the Congress passed it, and that it's money for you that's set out from the federal government. Let's get check A. $6,500 to $12,000. A four stimulus check in every U.S. state. Spelly got this incredible check. Congratulations, Spelly. How do you get this incredible check A? $6,500 to $12,000 stimulus check. You go under the video, become a member. Join the channel. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Welcome to the nearly 100 new members join this channel every 48 hours. Yes, membership is out of control. You can join LA1, LA2, and LA3. You get the newsletter delivered from me to you Monday through Friday. The reason why membership is zooming once again higher is because more Americans are hurting than ever before. We saw that in the data today, with debt levels out of control and people not having the cash to pay for the debt. Go under this video, join the channel, then get the newsletter. Go down to where it says check A in the newsletter and apply. So simple. You're not done there yet. You're going to go check B. $15,000 to $80,000. This is the wonderful check that the great viewer, Frank Mancuso out of Florida, got. He became a member. For just a few dollars of becoming a member, he then, within just days, turned around and got check B. 18 months of mortgage, 18 months of utilities, 18 months of high-speed internet. He got thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars from this channel in just a few days for paying a few dollars for membership. Wow, what a great bang for your buck. That is why people are joining this channel, because for a few dollars, thousands of dollars could be coming to you like Frank did. You're not going to stop there yet. You're going to go get check C for rent, utilities, mortgage, assistance, more. Become a member. Go down the membership newsletter. You find check C. And when you see check C, it tells you who to call, what to say, and how to say it for rent, utilities, mortgage, assistance, and more. Promise me this for check C. You will reach out to all 12 places. At check C in the membership newsletter, I give you 12 places to reach out to. You need to reach out to all 12 places, because ultimately you'll have a rejection rate. Remember Johnny? He started on Monday. By Friday, he had 80,000, but he also applied to 15 places and got 7 approved. You have a rejection rate, but you also have an approval rate. And that's why you want to reach out to all 12 places for that incredible check C in the membership newsletter. And there you go, checks A, B, and C. Let's look at some of the incredible success stories that viewers have had for those A, B, and C checks on this channel. Remember, this channel is now one of the most successful YouTube channels in the last 2 years. This is now the #3 most watched financial news channel in America. And this is the financial news channel that has gotten more people more money than any other channel in American broadcasting in the last 3 years. $50 million. Let's look at the incredible numbers right now. From $20,000 to $30,000 for rent, go get check C. You deserve it. How about utilities? Great. Lynn Glenn, longtime viewer of this channel, she got 12 months of utilities just days ago. Another viewer, also 12 months of utilities. 2 viewers, 14 months of rent. And here is Mark. Congratulations, Mark. His brother also got $15,000 for utilities. The same brother-in-law is getting $250,000 over 10 years for SNAP. Combinations of checks. Niece, who's at $23,000. Mark, who's at $32,000. He went from $32,000 to $166,000. Lorraine, she was at $105,000. She went to $150,000. And that's what you do. That's just check A, B, and C. That's just check A, B, and C. In the big second half, we're going to go over the continuation of these FSC checks. We're going to go over the continuation of these FSC checks. That $300,000 for you. Stay the big second half. Then we go over to those inflation relief stimulus checks. Automatic. Just incredible. They're coming up in the big second half. Then we go over to the lifetime stimulus checks. Now, the lifetime stimulus checks are fascinating, but also fascinating is one of the things that impacts it. Gasoline. So let me give you an insight of analysis of what to expect for Wednesday and Thursday for that COLA raise on Thursday and that PPI the day before. This is very interesting analysis. If the PPI, the producer price index, on Wednesday is a higher number for the month of September than the month of August, meaning the PPI went up, then it's pretty safe to say your CPI for Thursday will go higher in the month of September compared to the month of August. That's easy. If the PPI released on Wednesday goes lower in the month of September compared to the month of August, it's a decline number. Would the CPI on Thursday decline? Not necessarily so. Why? Because gasoline is a very clear component of the CPI, more so than the PPI. The CPI has in there how much you go to pump the gasoline at the pump. You, the consumer. The consumer is not in the PPI. The consumer is not pumping the gasoline in the PPI. So if you see a decline in the PPI on Wednesday, do not get nervous about your CPI the next day. But if you see the PPI go higher on Wednesday, it's pretty easy to say your CPI is going higher on Thursday, and so are your benefits. In the big second half, we'll jump into those lifetime stimulus. We'll continue with the inflation relief stimulus checks and also those FSCs. What do? You go into this video, become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Parrot, Casino VIP. Because the toast is toasting, the butter is buttering, and we're just getting started. More deliciousness heats up the big second half. I'll see you back in 60 seconds as Mornings LATE continues.
If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LA Late Daily for the excitement of the new LA Late live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LA Late.
And the excitement continues in a big, bold, beautiful mornings of Mornings LATE as we go into a brand new week with so much details at issue. You need to get that incredible stimulus. Because why? You heard it in the first half. More Americans having debt, cannot afford the debt, don't have the cash to pay for the debt. And the debt is becoming more expensive because of interest rates. And that was what we had talked about on this channel since spring of this year. We call that stimulus stampede. Americans just can't afford what they are dealing with right now. And what are they going to be doing? They're going to be coming here and becoming members. And you want to become a member. If you just found this channel, welcome. And if you are a member, you want to get this stimulus. You do not want to wait around. A lot of tough love for you right now. You want to get this money right now. If you're a member, get this stimulus right this minute. Do not wait, because the data is very clear. Here is also breaking news, a brand new report from Mohammed El-Hararian, featured on this channel a lot. He's a guy that always talks about Jay Powell. He's not particularly fond of what the Federal Reserve has done, but he said today much of what I said. The Federal Reserve is not going to pivot. Federal Reserve is not going to stop. Can they stop? Can they pivot? No, they cannot, said El-Hararian minutes ago. They cannot, because the data does not give them enough of green light, but importantly, the credibility has been hit very hard. Meaning, the Federal Reserve is going to stop raising interest rates? No. And if you missed the recordings over the weekend, let me tell you what the data was on that one. Because the unemployment rate improved, less people unemployed, even though the number of jobs created fell, that signals that the Federal Reserve can continue to do what they're doing. And there's no indication that they're going to change at all. Federal Reserve has also said that. Bond market, I'll have no bond data for you today because it is Columbus Day. The bond market is closed. And Rivian, I had said at the start of the recording, the stock was down 3%. It's now down 10% because it's recalling all of its vehicles because of a steering issue. Let's steer into some stimulus. Let's steer into some stimulus because I'm not because this is stimulus you want to recall and remember and get it right across the board. After Check C from the president, by executive action, came other checks, E through K, passed by Congress. And let's go over those incredible checks, FSCs, from Congress. Check E, $7,500. Check F, $4,000. Check G, 30% off. Check H, wow, $2,000. Check I, a whopping $8,000. Check J, $8,000 as well. Check K, $14,000. That is huge. Now, along the way, I found you other checks. These, again, are FSC, federal stimulus checks. L, $100,000 on average of low interest-free money. Whoa. M, $4,000 of grant money, all for you. That is for closing cost assistance. N, a brand new computer, a brand new tablet, a brand new laptop. Most tablets are less than $100, and I love this. So they give you $100 towards a brand new computer, tablet, or a laptop, and free internet. On Afternoons LA today, initially I say, no internet. No internet means there's no internet connection. I meant free internet. Yeah. It's sort of like, no lobster. Free lobster. It's different. None of which I'm interested in. I'm not interested in the free lobster. Zero down payment, zero closing costs is stimulus O. This is for a brand new home, and they also got in there no insurance and no credit check required. And then finally, stimulus P, 3% down, even for a refi, and then Q, $8,000 of free closing costs. Wow, that is all wonderful. And that is your incredible FSCs. Now let's recap. FSC means it's from the federal government. The federal government pays for it. The president, executive action, checks A, B, and C. The Congress passing those other checks, E through K, and more thereafter. Federal government, they send out the checks, they administer the application. It's not from your state. State has nothing to do with it. But what is the biggest of the FSC checks? $100,000. What's the smallest? $8,000. Fastest routing time, about 2 days. Johnny getting $45,000 on a Wednesday when he started on a Monday. I got checks of all different kinds for you for these FSCs. I got home repairs, rent, utilities, mortgage assistance. I got stuff for a car, brand new appliance like a refrigerator, a furnace. I got computer, tablets, internet. I got something for almost all different walks of life. They are the incredible FSCs. FSCs, federal stimulus checks, A through Q. How do you get them? Step one, you go on this video, you become a member. Join the channel, join LA1 or LA2 or LA3. Go down the membership newsletter, delivered from me to you via the YouTube alerts, Monday through Friday, 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, which on the East Coast is 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, the Midwest, 9 o'clock Central Standard Time. You go down, apply for check A, apply for check B, and continue across the board. Do exactly as the video says, and watch the video to remember to go over all those incredible details. And apply. Now, in addition to these FSCs, well, guess what? I got some wonderful ISC, inflation relief stimulus checks. These are in contrast from your state. Inflation relief stimulus checks, let's go over the details of them. First, you're not going to hear them on local news. They just don't cover it, and yet they're there. How do you find them? As a member, you go down the membership newsletter, you find check D, like donut. Open it up, click it, it'll open up a brand new page. And then at check D, it tells you the respective states. The state, then the amount of the check, and then a website run by your state that tells you how to track the check, how is it paid, all the details of the check, even sometimes a phone number with the government, the state agency that administers the check, all in that membership newsletter at check D. Most of the checks are $1,000. Single individual, $75,000 less. Married couple, $150,000 less. If you're on benefits, absolutely. And most times you have to have filed a tax return. So that's voluntarily. Even if you don't have to, go to irs.gov, put it in, and get that incredible check. And there you go. Which then tees up lifetime stimulus checks. Oh, here we go. Lifetime stimulus checks heat up with that major announcement just days away. You know what's at issue. October 13th. The bacon will be delivered on October 13th as we discover what happens for the raise of your benefits. Let's go over the details of that major announcement that day and what you need to know and what's going to happen across the board. First, it's important to understand that your benefits are definitely going up. That's the first thing. Second, why are they going up? Because of inflation. And what are they dependent upon? Well, they're dependent upon 3 months of data. And let's bring it all together right now. On Thursday, October 13th, the COLA raise will be announced. COLA raise is determined based upon your CPI-W for the month of July, 8.7, month of August, 8.9, and September's CPI-W also being released on October 13th. Once your benefits go up, they never go down. Now, J-PAL's already said there's going to be inflation next year and the year after that. So your benefits will go up with this COLA raise, and then will also go up the year after that and the year after that. So let's go into that CPI-W right now. The CPI-W for September being released this Thursday, October 13th, analysts and viewers, no, I would say just viewers, are putting at a 9.1, 9.2, and 9.3. Again, it was 8.7 July. 8.9 August. And viewers are putting it at 9.1, 9.2, 9.3. Do I think they're right? I think they're right. I think you're doing a really good job on this. Why are viewers putting it higher? Because gasoline went higher in the second half of September. After it fell in July, fell in August, it went higher in the second half of September. On Friday, we had wage inflation released with the non-farm payroll number. And that wage inflation showed wages in the month of September went up more than they went up in the month of August. There you go. There's another number higher than the prior month. So with that, what's important to know is that there's nothing inherent in this economy that looks like something fell dramatically in the month of September. Is the gasoline falling? No, it went up. Is the rent falling? No, it's about the same or going up. Is the medical going down? No. And is the food going down? No, not particularly. So there's no indication that the CPI-W for September will be lower than August. You really have zoned in correctly on this. Where am I putting this number myself? I'm putting it at 9.1. Putting it at 9.1. Now, you may be right at 9.3. I don't believe it's going to be in the 8s. I don't believe it's going to be in the 9.5s. And then what about that COLA raise? That COLA raise is a harder number. We'll go over that in a second. Here's what you need to know when looking at the CPI-W, and it's also important to understand for your stimulus. J-PAL in January this year was the topic of discussion on this channel, and I told you that J-PAL would raise rates for a long time till he got inflation down, but it's not going to work, is what I told you in January. Why? Raising interest rates does not get a truck driver to charge you less to drive the truck. Raising interest rates does not do anything with OPEC Plus, with cutting production or pumping of oil. And that's why raising interest rates would not bring down the price of gasoline, because that's dependent upon events like OPEC Plus cutting production of gasoline last week by 2 million barrels a day. Raising interest rates does not get supply chain disruption solved, like the shippers or the truck drivers or the pilots. I told you that in January. And last week, the United Nations and other analysts finally saying these central banks need to stop raising rates to battle supply chain disruption. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. This is what I told you in January. It doesn't work at all. So does anything that J-PAL does with raising rates actually get something down? Potentially in the long run, the groceries, yes. Potentially in the long run, the salaries, maybe. But at the moment, the salaries are going up more in the month of September than they went up more in the month of August. They went up 0.3% in the month of September compared to 0.2% in the month of August, so it's not working there yet. And then the landlord, the rent. This is analysis you're not going to hear anywhere else. Rent is 30% of inflation. 30% of the CPI is rent. If it's too expensive to buy a home because you cannot afford the mortgage because J-PAL's raising rates, then you're not going to buy a home. So as J-PAL raises rates, less home purchases will occur. As less home purchases occur, that means more people will rent. If more people rent, then there's less vacancies and the landlord's going to raise the rent. I hope the stream is holding up because we're seeing some indication there's problems with the stream, but I guess it's good here, at least across the board. If there is less vacancies, then they're potentially raising interest rates may cause the rent to go even higher than it is. With that, let's go back to that CPI-W. I think you got it right. I think the CPI-W on Thursday will be about a 9.1, 9.2. I think 9.3 may be high, and I think anything under 9.1 may be low. What about the COLA raise? Well, so this is a hard one. I put it 11% back in July. At the time, I said, I think I'm too high. Now I think I'm too low. Am I staying 11%? I am. What about viewers? Viewers are putting that cola raise at 11, 12, 13%. I don't think anyone's been at 15%. No one's put it at 10 or 9 or 8. What would surprise us? What would surprise us is a cola raise of like 8 or 9%. That would really surprise us. A 15% cola raise would also surprise us. That would be on the high end of surprises. Because cola is not that inherently strange compared to the CPI-W, but it really sort of tracks it nicely. So with that, a lot of excitement. Now remember, let's recap, because I know this is a lot to digest. On Wednesday, October 12th, we get the PPI, the Producer Price Index. If it's higher in September compared to the month of August, you can certainly bet the CPI the next day will be higher, and you're going to lock in a great benefits raise of your check. If the PPI is lower in September, the numbers of decline released on Wednesday this week, does that indicate anything for the CPI? No, it's not apples to apples that way, because you have gasoline helping you on the CPI side. So, big week. It's just a big week across the board. At 11 a.m. is Holidays LA. Today at 3 o'clock is Afternoons LA, and it's also Holidays LA. We got Holidays LA shows just all over the place in our afternoon programming, getting you ready for Halloween. A lot of fun across the board. Plus, we'll see the impact of all this debt that Americans are carrying and why it's so important for you to get that stimulus. It's very important for you to get that stimulus right now, because all those Americans carrying those debt are going to be struggling daily worse than the day before. Remember our financial cliff. It started in September. I predicted it was going to start in September early this year. I said the real hurt comes in January. We're getting very close to January. And that hurt is causing Americans to pivot. Ultimately, what do? You go on this video, you become a member. You stay the whole video as we go over all these incredible checks. You watch multiple videos a day, because it's important to sort of understand exactly how you do this. So I want you to watch and then relearn and make sure you're on top of it. Go apply for a check, then come back in the afternoon, watch another video and realize, oh, okay, I didn't do that. I need to do that as well, so that you get it really right. You want to get this money now. It's October. You don't want to wait to January. You want to get this incredible sums of money right now. And you want to encourage other people. Be positive. Have a spirit of helpfulness. Encourage other people. Keep it focused, keep it motivated, and keep it here. See, coming up next, if you're watching the show live on air, is 11 a.m.'s noontime. If you're watching the live show, then stay with me throughout the day as the programming continues. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, God bless. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful day. The programming continues. I'll look for you all throughout the day on this channel. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful day, and stay with LA for more.